Okay, so I'm over here working on the chicken tractor build. I've already done the first part, which is cut the boards to length, cut the half laps. So I already got my half laps cut, and then pieced together the 4 sides right there. So now I'm going to put them together to connect them. Then I need to put in the hardware cloth around, and that for sure will get done today. If I do have enough time, then I'm gonna work on the metal tubing, bending that and getting it for the structure of the chicken tractor. So framing it up, getting the hardware cloth inside, and then getting the metal tubing over. Now my doors I do a little different than John Suscovich shows. I do it with the triangle point. Just I like the look of it. It matches the frame, so I'll show you how I do that. Let's get started. So the wood was a little warped from sitting here for, it's been like 1 to 2 months that it's been sitting here, so it's starting to warp and bend, even though it is green treated. Well, it actually was so warped on this side that when I tightened the 2 ends, it actually cracked right there. And so I'm gonna have to try to apply some glue and screws, and then when I put in the metal tubing, that should actually help put pressure on the wood to bring it inward. So I'm hoping it just doesn't crack any further. So other than that, it's looking good. It'll be strong. I just hope I can keep that spot tight from breaking any further. So I definitely have found it useful to have a staple gun, and like a powerful one, not a just a standard staple gun. They just don't get the staples in far enough. So I got this one from DEWALT. Got an air compressor. It's definitely been worth the money. The first chicken tractor I built was all done by hand, meaning I had hammer staples that I had to hammer in all the way around. Took probably 1 to 2 full days. I can knock this out in about an hour with this gun. So the only difficult part is moving the hardware cloth around and keeping it nice and tight and keeping it from getting any like bows in it. This is 1/2 inch mesh, 2 foot height, 25 foot length. And so that's what I use to cover right from the corner all the way around to the other corner. And then once I get my door in, then I can put the rest of the hardware cloth on the 2 corners up front and then on the door itself. So I use another roll for that, but this one roll will basically cover the entire inside here, the 25 foot length. So now we're on to the roof structure with the metal tubing. And I usually have to reference the book, John Suscovich's Stress-Free Chicken Tractor Plans. I'm sure you could find it off his website, farmmarketingsolutions.com. And so now it's time to bend the pipe to make the structure for the roof. So a couple things you need. One is the book, so you can see where to make your marks. It teaches you how to do the pipe bending. So I've got this guy right here. I built this little deal right here. He kind of shows it right there in the book, how to make that. So that's what your metal tubing will fit in to kind of help hold it tightly while you bend it. And then I've got to go get those pipes. So we'll get that. I'll make my marks as it shows here, and then we'll start bending. So now we have got, you know, the base structure, we've got the peak of the roof, we've got it all tied down with the top. So what's next? The next is the door. So I need to get this door up and going with the peak of the roof. And then once that's done, I can hardware cloth the door, I can hardware cloth the front sides. So let's talk about the door. Well, on John Suscovich's plans, he just talks about doing a rectangular door. It's much simpler than what I do because it's just up, over, down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up. I'm going to draw a line right at where the top of the, wherever it crosses the peak right there, and I'm going to draw a line, and that's where I'm going to cut my wood. So I'm going to start the angle, and then I'm going to get it to go right along the angle of that. So I'll show you what I'm talking about here. And then make my little support board. When I do that, I'm making it 7-inch board, so that way it covers 3 inches down, 3.5 inches down below, 3.5 inches above, so it's got equal support on both the frame and the door. I've got the frame of the door complete, so it's all solid, screwed together. Here in the corner I just had, sometimes it just comes off a little bit, not based on my measurements, but because of the way the peak of the roof goes, sometimes it's not a perfect match. And so to make it all work, to meet up at the top, I had to move this up just slightly, and so I just had to add in a little piece and nail gun it into place. So it is now pretty close to perfect. So now I need to put the hardware cloth in right there and there, and then I can finish up the door and hardware cloth that. All right, so while I was away, got hardware cloth in the corners. Now all that's left for today is to get this door done, and I might throw in the roosting bar there too, but which, speaking of roosting bar, his plans do not call for it because most people use the chicken tractor, use it for Cornish cross. Cornish cross, too big, too fat, cannot get up on roosting bars. So what we do here, we've got Red Rangers, we've got turkeys. Both of them are athletic enough to roost. So that's the only reason I made a slight modification and started doing a roosting bar down the middle. So I'll show you that as soon as I get the door done. I got the door done. Took some time, took some finagling. It's a lot of trial and error when it's trying to deal with a point that's not exactly you know, perfect in all the angles, just because of the poles coming up might be slightly askew. So last thing, just gonna put a roosting barn today, and then I'll just have the wire and the tarp to put in to finish up the structure, and then just have to put the hanging feeder, hanging water, and then cut the holes for the rope and the wheels, and we'll be good to get out. So I think we'll be able to finish it in one more time. So we made some good progress today. Really got over halfway. So now let me just get the roosting bar on there. That's a wrap on day one of the chicken tractor build. So we have got the door, the body, the poles with the bar on top sealed up. Got the roosting bar. It was a good build day, really hot. I am soaking wet. So hope you got something out of it. You know, with that, we'll see you tomorrow.